got the white knuckles holding on tight, keeping your feelings bottled up inside.
So, you guys saw in the last video, the 4Runner got towed home on a flat deck. Why did that happen? Well, today we're gonna figure that out. I have a check engine light for a Misfire on cylinder number 2. When I was on the side of the road diagnosing it, I know for sure it's got spark, not sure if it's got fuel, and I have no idea if it's got compression. Why don't we dive in and figure it out?
Moments pass, make this one count. Untie, you're so good at dragging yourself down. Why? Well, there ain't much time left to figure.
My goal here is to figure out if we have compression, and if we do, perfect. I will move on to spark and fuel. If I don't have compression, we're gonna have a bit of a bigger issue on our plate here. We know it's got good compression, and if any of you have ever had to do a compression test, you know the feeling I'm feeling right now. I don't even have to try to describe it, but all the numbers check out. We are sitting at 170 to 175 between all 4 cylinders, so that's a plus. Now I'm going to check for spark, and then after that we'll move on to checking the fuel. We have spark, which now makes me think I've got a bad fuel injector or a wiring issue. What I'm going to do now is actually unplug cylinder 2 and unplug cylinder 1 and swap the connectors. I do that and there's no change. Cylinder 2 is still dead, which has me even further convinced that it is a bad fuel injector. I take a hammer and a extension, tap it a few times while it's idling just to see if I can hear a change in the idle. Nothing. So I'm just going to pull the fuel rail and actually swap the injectors and see if the issue moves. We've narrowed it down now to a failing fuel injector. And I know that because I swapped it from cylinder number 2, which was originally the dead cylinder, over to cylinder 1, and now cylinder 1 is the dead cylinder. So I'm going to pull the fuel injectors, send them off to get cleaned and tested, and if they come back clear, I'm going to run them. And if I run into an issue, then I will look at replacing them. Okay, it's 2 days later and I've got my fuel injectors back. These 3 are the only ones that they could get going. They told me that they cleaned them and tested them and they're working excellent. This one here failed electronically and there's nothing they can do to repair it. So I bought 2 new ones. One will go in the truck as a spare, and then the other I'm going to use to replace the broken one. I also bought a brand new fuel filter. I want to make sure clean fuel is going into these injectors before I start it up. I also have a small thing of gas here just to lubricate all the O-rings before putting them in. Without further ado, let's put it all back together and see how it runs. the fuel injectors are back in. I'm gonna fire it up and we're gonna find out if it works. She's running mint other than a squeaky pulley. I think the only logical thing to do now is to go for a test drive and do some wheeling.
You're so good at dragging yourself down. Well, there ain't much time left to figure things out. Underneath all the laser, you're down. There's a heart gone out of rhythm.
If any of you are curious about my suspension setup, the 3RZ swap, or anything else about the truck, there's a video in my description of a walk around that I highly recommend you watch. I think you guys will enjoy it.
Look at the colors, colors.
I start making my way back down, listening to music and just honestly enjoying that I can be back in the truck again. And then all of a sudden, not even 20 feet in front of me, this tree comes down. Should I be out here filming? Probably not. However, if I didn't, nobody would believe me. I made the foolish mistake of not bringing a chainsaw, so I turn around and come down a different trail.